want to just begin by just thanking everybody in this room, and the private industry, the people in education, the people working for government, for putting on a conference, but for also suggesting that the conversation can never end. That we have a goal in mind, and that's ultimately the goal that we learned probably as kids. We got to take care of this earth. And that to me still is the predominant understanding for me and the motivator. And it can be, as we will talk about later, the economics of it, the smartness of it, the cost factors, but ultimately we've got to, in our generations, leave this world a better place. And we can't do it without the best ideas coming forward and the will to implement those programs, be they solar or energy efficiencies that will save generations of people to come, to give them a better foundation for their lives. And that will always be, I think, a foundation for setting goals like having a city to be 100% on renewable energy, for getting our transportation systems in line, or different municipal buildings in line, and then of course constantly educating our private sector, be they commercial or residential, to take on this challenge and join the city as a whole. You know, there's no better place for the solar industry to come together than here in San Francisco. And I get to spend a few minutes bragging about what we've been able to do. But we've got today, and of course we're not satisfied with it, but it's a pretty good accomplishment of some 19 megawatts of solar installations, more than 200 companies driving innovation in our clean tech sector. We're leading the way with bold policies to announce 100% renewable energy, reduce carbon emissions, and set higher standards for greening our buildings and becoming a mecca, an attraction for clean transportation. And if you've been around for the last few days, you know that we're kind of smiling in San Francisco right now, because within the last week, finally, the state of California stood up, and now we've got high-speed rail coming to the state of California. Isn't that a wonderful, wonderful thing? We finally figured it out. And for us here in San Francisco, it's going to be extremely valuable to be able to take a third of our flights off of the pressure of our limited airport in San Francisco and put that Los Angeles, San Francisco commute onto high-speed rail by electrifying the Caltrain system and putting the whole system together so that we can relieve that valve pressure on our airport and welcome in more international flights, primarily from Freiburg. We're also proud to have been recently named the Clean Tech Capital of North America by the Clean Tech Group. And as of today, we've reduced citywide carbon emissions by 14.5% below our 1990 levels. We have a goal by the end of this year to get to 20%. We're still making every attempt to reach that. We are the best green building policy for our ordinances back in 2011. And we got that from the World Green Building Council. More than 35 million square feet in the city has been earning LEED certification. We've got 100% of our city's transit fleet on alternative fuel, electricity, or biodiesel. And we're right now at 70% recycling of every material that's discarded in the city for our garbage. We will get to 100% recycling, by the way, in our lifetimes. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm working together, and I want to just take this opportunity. There are members here in the audience that have been part of our renewable energy task force, and I want to thank them because they're about to produce a report for me that will guide me in the next 3.5 years of policy and priorities and funding and investment so that we can fulfill our destiny of continuing to be the greenest city in the country, if not North America. So I want to thank them personally for that. And as I said earlier, we have earned this reputation of being the greenest city in North America. I also want to invite you all, if you have a chance, to visit our newest municipal building in San Francisco. The location is 525 Golden Gate. It is the home of the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission, which is our division of government that owns the Hetchy water system and hydroelectric power system. Goes from Yosemite all the way to San Francisco. We've just opened that building for the employees of the agency. It is a LEED Platinum building. Solar panels on top, wind power on the side, and 100% reuse of the gray water in the building. It is an educational institution in and of itself for generations to come. And I hope you will have a chance to visit it, to see what we've done. We've tried to create, with this LEED Platinum municipal building, a new standard for all buildings in San Francisco. And with its power generation, it generates 227,000 kilowatts a year in its building integrated hybrid solar wind power installation. So that will be another interesting visit for you during this time. You know, in the municipal solar array, we have some 13 municipal solar arrays that cover over 7.5 megawatts of solar energy. This includes, again, if you have a chance to visit, our 5 megawatt system at the Sunset Reservoir. That will be a great time to visit and enjoy the sunshine out there in the Sunset area. And then our Go Solar program. We still have installed 7 megawatts, but nearly in the last couple of years, there's over 3,040 non-municipal solar installations that total 12 megawatts of power in the private sector. And we want to continue that effort because guess what? It's saving San Franciscans, as of today, $4.5 million on their electric bills every single year. It's not only smart, it's economically smart. We are also committed to continuing to streamline the permit process. We identified that, and that was part of the challenge some years ago, that it took so long for our electrical divisions and our permit divisions to approve these permits. Now we have a completely streamlined, over-the-counter permitting process for private and commercial developers. And finally, we have invested in a San Francisco energy map. This was created in 2006, and it's now become an award-winning guide that provides information about the solar potential for each and every building in San Francisco, including the potential size, the system output, the cost, energy bill savings, incentives, and how to find installers here in our city. This energy map will become a model, and now there's more than 30 cities around the world that also have similar maps. We have paired this bold policy leadership with smart economic development strategies for the growth of our city, and particularly aimed at the clean tech industry. We're home to an incredible cluster of companies, now numbering 208 clean tech companies. We're home to 35 solar companies already. And in addition, as I said earlier, we are continuing to invest in our Go Solar program. We have some $2 million each year for the next 2 years to be able to do that. We're also home to major developers and installers that include companies like Sunrun, SunEdison, Tioga Energy, Bass Electric, and Luminault. And I want to thank the young individual here today who's come from Luminault, because we have an education program, 5,000 jobs this year for summer kids. And several of them are here today, and they're enjoying this wonderful conference because they're getting educated while earning great money at the same time. And that's how you produce synergy with our youth. Get them a job. Get them a job in the solar industry. We've also provided business tax exclusions for our clean tech firms. That's also smart for a city to do, because it is very difficult to talk about new technology unless you incentivize it. And we have incentivized it with a business tax exclusion, and that is why there are so many companies that are wanting to locate here and get a start on a potentially North American marketing. So the success continues. And today, I'm proud to announce 2 new global solar firms which have moved to San Francisco. Intersolar and Intersolar Energy Company. Intersolar is a publicly traded company that emphasizes their business is solar PV manufacturing, and particularly focused on wafer technology. They are now the #7 Chinese solar firm that has been attracted to San Francisco because of our China SF program. Intersolar, well, a year ago, as I was here at this very Intersolar conference, Dr. Weber, I met Intertis. They were from Spain. They attended here, and they were thinking about where they might locate for a U.S. office or a California market office. Well, my staff followed up with them, kept in touch, made the phone calls. Well, today, they're located right around the corner on Fremont Street. That's what commitment is. Keep calling them and keep focused on them. So to the solar companies and the organizations in San Francisco, thank you all for locating here. We hope that we will continue your success for not only the markets, but for the continuing education. And as I said earlier, the commitment that we're making as a city to really help generations of San Franciscans, but I hope for the state and the rest of the country, we prove that we have the best models. I want to thank all of you who are not yet located here in San Francisco, and consider to be in the greatest city in the world, along with Freiburg, to locate your North American headquarters here as well. As I said earlier, I'm not going to be satisfied with all these accomplishments. In fact, just having been elected last November, and I've had kind of a good 6 months to get into the politics, and wow, this is still a very political city, by the way. I'm just putting in my earlier efforts to really create a foundation for the next 3.5 years. And so now we're at a time when it's great because we've just passed our first 2-year budget. We're no longer into 1-year budgets, 2-year budgets. And we can reflect now and make longer term investments because ultimately it's where the city invests. Its recovering economy and monies is going to be, I think, the greatest signal of our commitment going forward. So again, thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying our great city, the Intersolar Conference. And again, thank you for everybody working together and sharing your information, your commitment to the solar and to the clean tech goals that we have for our city. Thank you very much.